Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, horror comedy is always one that's liable to get stuck in some people's craw because some people don't like humor and horror. It's kind of like Frank Zappa, where some people just don't like humor in their music. Which so what? Whatever. Um, no accounting for taste, or maybe a whole lot of accounting for taste, and maybe that's the problem. But I want to talk about Blood Diner as far as horror comedy. Ooh, doggies, this is a favorite in our house. Uh, Made in 1987, directed by Jackie Kong, and I want to see more Jackie Kong movies. Tell you what, yeah, this lady is like a stellar talent. I know of one other movie in the '80s that we've seen trailers for. All I know is when we look up info on the movie, we see the unlikely casting of Pat Morita. That's to a lot of you, that's Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid movies. See, I knew him growing up as Arnold from Happy Days. Uh, and he plays a character known as quote unquote rape victim. What? What? Pat Morita, rape victim? What do you want to do with that? I don't even know what I want to do with that. Uh, okay, but just to lay it out for you, movie opens in what I guess is the early 60s or something to that effect. It's made in 1987, but it opens with these two little kids playing around in their living room. And their mother goes out to do something or other. Uh, and suddenly there's a lot of weird lights outside, and some strange being starts hammering his way through the door with a cleaver. And as soon as the guy emerges with cleaver in hand, the kids just get excited and shout, "Uncle Anwar! Uncle Anwar!" Well, Uncle Anwar could be a stand-in for the character in Blood Feast. In fact, this is kind of considered kind of a quasi-sequel to Blood Feast, or just a spiritual sequel anyway, of sorts. Except Blood Feast really didn't have quite as many laughs at this as this one does. Now, I can't even explain the insane amount of crazy shit going on in this. Man, okay, so Uncle Anwar gives them these amulets to Shitar that he tells them are, several million years old, and then he goes staggering outside to deal with the big police dragnet that's building, and gets gunned down. So many years later, the two brothers, the Tutman brothers, Michael and Georgie, grow up, and they start owning, they own a vegetarian restaurant. And so they go out to Uncle Anwar's grave and dig it up, and then they put his brain in a jar, and he starts communicating with them, and they have to pursue this mad scheme to resurrect the goddess Shitar. Uncle Anwar, either as the performer in the beginning of the movie or as the brain in the jar, is done by Drew Goddard, who is absolutely fantastic. Michael and Georgie are respectively played by Rick Burks and Carl Crew. And long story short, They're running this vegetarian restaurant. They're also running around committing mass murder and killing all these people and chopping them up in a lot of cases and serving their food as vegetarian food, serving their flesh as vegetarian food. And people are loving it, and it's wildly popular. And they're searching for a virgin to resurrect Sheetar with, where they're out back building out of various body parts. And they're going to resurrect her with this big ritual where a lot of people are going to be sacrificed, and this virgin is especially going to be a sacrifice. There's all kinds of there's a lot of weird callbacks to Blood Diner, or to Blood Feast. Just the great Herschel Gordon Lewis gore fest. There are a lot of weird side plots. Georgie is kind of an amateur wrestler, and he gets this big deal happening. None of this has anything to do with the movie, by the way. It has nothing to do with the story. And he ends up in the ring wrestling a wrestler, with a weird mustache who calls himself Little Jimmy Hitler. And this guy's supposed to be the baby face. And it's funny, and music by Dino Lee, the White Trash King, and fantastic stuff. Too much fun. Laugh a minute, I thought. Just crazy humor. It's like at one point you have them trying to get into a club, and the bouncer tells him to take a hike. They throw the bouncer right into the middle of the road where his head gets run over, squashed by a lowrider. And the other bouncer just kind of looks out in the street and is like, "Hey, are you okay?" It's just the kind of thing that warms the cockles of my little black heart. Anyway, just 10 tons of fun, resurrecting Sheetar, human sacrifice, mass mutilation, and just craziness oozing out of the back, front, and sideways of this thing. The two cops they have, it's kind of a buddy cop movie in addition to all this. And they are the two detectives who are trying to solve this case, and they both seem to be dubbed. Their dialogue seems to be dubbed, and it's kind of like, okay, what are either of your languages really? Because what comes out of their mouths doesn't sound like them. They wind up one witness they're kind of trying to pump info out of is a guy who owns kind of a rival vegetarian diner, and he's got this weird dummy who sits in the one of the booths and has conversations with him, and he carries on these imaginary ventriloquist conversations with this dummy that's dressed kind of like Torgo from oh god, what's that damn movie called? Manos, The Hands of Fate. But he talks in a voice like this, and the guy's name is Stan. He's like, "Stan, don't do it, Stan!" And it's what the hell is this? How did you shoehorn this into all this crap? What the hell? Anyway, it's completely batshit, and I love this movie. This movie cracks me the hell up. May not do it for you. It sure as hell did it for me, but for my case, it gets a high recommend. Check out Blood Diner. And before I hit this button, hit those buttons. Like, subscribe, click on that little bell for notifications. Love ya.